is doing exceedingly well in the campaigns in Kawambwa. We as a party would like to take cognizance of the fact that President Lungu has gone into very high spirit as a politician. He is hammering the ground in Kawambwa and is receiving unprecedented support. The people of Kawambwa have really warmed up to his message, and we believe that victory for the Tonse Alliance, in effect for the Patriotic Front, is certain in Kawambwa. Having said that, let me, on behalf of the Patriotic Front, make a few congratulations to some Africans who are leading the way in building democracy. I would like to single out particularly Namibia for being the first republic in the southern part of Africa to have elected a female president, Madam Nandi Ndaitwah. Incidentally, she served as Minister of Tourism at the same time that I served as Minister of Tourism. So I'm quite well acquainted with her. Congratulations are also well deserved by John Mahama, who has been elected for the second time as President of Ghana. We have heard some people saying in Africa, when a party loses, it never comes back. John Mahama in Ghana is proving them wrong. Congratulations also to Duma Boko, President of Botswana. In congratulating him, I would also like to commend him for being extremely presidential, for proving to the whole world that there are people who have the strength and the capacity to honor predecessors. What Duma Boko is doing to President Kama is exactly what Africans must do to each other, to respect predecessors, because that's the only way you can learn. Need I also congratulate Donald Trump? I think he deserves hearty congratulations. After having lost elections in the midst of COVID, post-COVID he has come back. And for political analysts, this trend across the globe shows something. Some of you may remember how Lula da Silva in Brazil lost elections, was incarcerated, and he walked straight from jail to presidency. A trend has been shown that a number of presidents who led countries during the COVID period lost elections. They lost elections largely on account of the shrinking economic space as a result of COVID. And in many countries, including our own Zambia, that economic decline was taken advantage of by conmen, pure outright conmen who postured as angels. They promised heaven when they can't even deliver anything. For that, I want to reiterate my praise to God. I'm full of praise for God. I praise God for having exposed conmen. The conmen who literally walked to State House in Zambia through deceit. They called us fools. They said there was no electricity in Zambia because of lack of leadership. They said after they're elected, sworn in at 10 hours, at 12 hours, the dollar will be 10 kwacha. They teased us that when we took over from RB, the dollar was 5 kwacha, and we had raised it to 13 kwacha. Only 3 years along the line, God Almighty has performed like He always does, performed His wonders by exposing who Hakainde truly is. A man who doesn't resemble what he was as president in the opposition. God has made it possible for all Zambians to see with their naked eyes that actually Hakainde is an imposter. An imposter because everything that he promised to deliver, he has failed. The first thing he did upon assuming office as president was to persecute his political rivals. Soon after that, he stole the Patriotic Front using stooges. Then he stole democracy. And how painful it is for those who have fought for Zambia's democratic space. To be a country that is now being rated as one of the worst democracies in the world. The United States report on governance of 2023 speaks volumes as to the shrinking democratic space in Zambia. When we called Hakainde Hichilema a dictator, people thought it was sour grapes. But true to our words, even countries that have nothing to do with Zambia have come to the realization that under Hakainde Hichilema there is no democracy at all to talk about in Zambia. Hakainde doesn't intend to stop at that. He now has even gone into the judiciary. There is no one Zambian who has an interest in the matter of the eligibility of Edgar Chagwa Lungu except Hakainde Hichilema. And this makes extremely sad reading for us Zambians. And this is the reason for which we invited you members of the press. Because we in the Patriotic Front want to make one statement clearly. Yes, tomorrow we have an unprecedented event where cameras will be permitted to go and broadcast live a judgment of a court. It has never happened in the history of this country. And yet this is not the first high-profile matter. There have been other high-profile matters, but they were not broadcast. Why this particular one? When was the law amended to permit a broadcast of a judgment? And of what uses it to inform the public about a judgment whose argument they didn't attend. The arguments that were presented for and against the matter were not brought to the public. Why only the final judgment? Now, I would like to assure Zambians that tomorrow's judgment is not a closure to this matter. It is not. The very fact that the court allowed that this matter be retried a fifth time means therefore that there is a sixth time coming. There is a seventh time coming. There is an eighth time coming. For us in the Patriotic Front, we're extremely saddened by this development. We're saddened by the fact that Hakainde Hichilema, because of his insatiable appetite for power, he has opened a Pandora box, whose lid he has even thrown away. There is no way that he's going to close it. And make no mistake, whatever the outcome tomorrow, make no mistake, you have not seen the end of this matter. And this is all because of Hakainde's selfishness. I said I'm full of praise for God. Thank you, God, for exposing Hakainde Hichilema for what he truly is. But for how long shall we stand by and watch Hakainde Hichilema raping our democracy, raping our institutions of governance? Now he's putting the judiciary in a quandary, in a quagmire. Will Chief Justice Malila stop me from appealing this matter? Will he stop any other person from going back to him and challenging whatever decision comes out tomorrow? All this is just to satisfy the ego of one man. That man has to be stopped. And stopping him starts now. Stopping Hakainde in the interest of our country starts now. I therefore appeal to all members of the Patriotic Front. Don't wait for 2026. Start now. Time has come for us to explain to the Zambian people how Hakainde is destroying our country. Who can pride themselves of belonging to a country whose police force is considered number 118 worst police in the world? And Grafel Musamba still goes around calling himself Inspector General of Police. Inspector General of the worst police. I shudder to imagine that Parliament agreed to change the name of police force to police service, because what it has become now is even worse than a force, where Grafel Musamba even stops people from thinking. He warns people, don't even plan anything about the court judgment. He has brought more than 1,000 police officers from across the country to come and surround the court to prevent citizens from participating in a court process. I will not condemn the 2 million people who voted. Rather, I would like to say to them, you must be regretting. In the same way that the other 1.8 are regretting. The incidents of tomorrow is going to spell a dark cloud on the judicial system of Zambia. Because it has become apparent that under Hakainde Hichilema there is no finality to any case. You can go on and on and on. The fact that they entertained Chizombe's petition, the court also ought to be prepared to entertain a petition from others. I'll not dare go into what the judgment will be. All I can say with certainty is that a Pandora box has been opened. And the one to pay for this is no other than the sponsor of this recklessness. And that is no other than dictator BMW. His day of reckoning is certainly coming. Biden and the Democrats did not believe that a person they were persecuting in the name of Trump would win by midday. The Americans taught them a lesson. And today Biden, who was posturing as a good governor and the best president ever, even goes to the extent of pardoning his own son just a few weeks before he leaves White House. What worst form of corruption can it be? To pardon his own son of criminal charges, and yet meanwhile he was persecuting his rival. And if it can happen to Trump, it shall happen also to others. My message to the members of the Patriotic Front is that we have one candidate. Probably I should say I've added two more. We now have three candidates for presidency in 2026. Three candidates. Number one, Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Number two, Lungu Chagwa Edgar. Number three, Edgar Lungu. That is the candidate of the Patriotic Front and the candidate of the Tonse Alliance, and there is no one except the Zambian people who has the power to stop him. Remember that the Constitution is very clear. The executive, the judiciary, the legislature, all of them borrow power from the people. So we in the Patriotic Front have selected Edgar Lungu as our candidate. And no one but the Zambian people will stop him. Make no mistake. Members of Patriotic Front, get it from your vice president. There is only three candidates, and I've mentioned their names. Edgar Chagwa Lungu is the candidate for the Patriotic Front. He will only be stopped by the Zambian people. For as long as the Zambian people want him, he will do a Donald Trump. He will do a John Mahama. And this wind is blowing across the globe. Edgar Chagwa Lungu will only be stopped by the Zambian people, not by Hakainde. No. kind of cowardice is this? What kind of cowardice where you even want to choose your own competitor? Huh? You choose your own rival. I don't want this one to compete, but I want this one to compete. They compete against the Zambian people. This short time remaining, can you redeem yourself? Please, deliver even one promise. Now I hear your vice president even denying what you said. Oh, it is nowhere in our manifesto that will reduce the rate of the dollar. It's nowhere in our manifesto. Madam Larumango, sure you go to church and you deny such things. It's everywhere on social media where Hakainde is telling us. Lack of leadership. That's why there is no electricity. Lack of leadership. There is no water in Dubai, but there is power 24/7. Lack of leadership. What leadership have you provided? And instead of going to church to go and pray for rain, you want to engage in rituals. You go to Sangoma. And you think God will answer. You call his day of prayer a rubbish day of prayer. I was in America raising money for electricity. Where is the electricity you brought? You condemned the day of prayer. And now because elections are around the corner, you even go and parade yourself at the day of prayer. What kind of inconsistency is this? You even have your Grafio Musamba going to raid a cathedral. You lock out the Metropolitan Archbishop of Lusaka. You lock him out of his own church. And you think God will give you rain. No. Now, the ones who are suffering are the majority. And I hear some person speaking like they are insane. Farmers, we now want you to go and invest in irrigation. How do you irrigate when there's no water? You dig a borehole, there's no water because there's no rain. What irrigation are you talking about? The Kariba is drying up and you're telling people, go and irrigate. Where will they get the water from? Better the devil you know than the angel you don't. And we are stuck with this so-called angel for another 1.5 years. But Zambians, take heart. Time has come for us to make sure that every Zambian understands Hakainde for what he is. A deceitful man. When we call him Bali Muntu Wabufi, Bali Muntu Wabubeja, he lies to the extent that he even starts believing his own lies. Bali, lay your hands off the judiciary. We don't want Zambians to lose respect for the judiciary. Stop it. And time for you to stop it is now. Thank you very much, members of the press.
We have come to the end of our briefing, but I'll ask our colleagues from the media if you have any questions in relation to what the Vice President has just alluded to. Any questions? Yes, sir.
You may sit, my friend. You may sit. There are a few of us.
Good afternoon, Lubinda. So my question is on, we have brought up the issue of My name is Justin Lubinda from Diamond TV. Yes, you have brought up the issue of the former Republican president being in Colombo and his campaigning. But tomorrow obviously is a very big day for not just the media but even the Zambians, because they're here to find out what the final judgment will be. Do we expect the former Republican president to be in court tomorrow?
Let's wait for tomorrow. Let's wait for tomorrow. In the same way that we're waiting for the judgment, let's wait for the appearance. Yes, sir.
Any rider to the question? Oh, yes, sir.
My name is Nganji Daniel Simaza. Honorable, I've been following your statement, and I want to just ask you this question regarding the Pandora box. Now that it has been opened, what exactly was it, and what does the Zambian people expect from the PF party, whatever decision that will come from the courts?
It is not the PF. It's the people. It is the people of Zambia. The reason why in Commonwealth jurisdictions there is the doctrine of res judicata is that courts must be given the authority to bring matters to a close. That's how this doctrine was brought about. That you cannot continue on the same matter, because you run the risk of creating a Pandora box, where everyone and anyone can just go and challenge the judgment. Not me, I'm not happy with this. Okay? So the moment that the court decided, yes, we're going to hear this matter yet again, they threw away the doctrine of finality. Tell me what moral right they will have if somebody tomorrow comes up and says, I'm not happy with this judgment. Whatever the judgment, remember there are always two sides of a matter. There are always two sides, maybe even a third side. There are normally two opposing sides. So whatever the outcome tomorrow, there will be somebody who will be aggrieved. And that person must be given the right to go back to court. So it's not the PF, my friend, it's the Zambians. It's the Zambians. And we're also waiting. As Patriotic Front, we're also waiting.
Yes, sir.
My name is Shamunya from Diamond TV. Vice President, you've indicated that going into 2026, the former president is the sole candidate. You may have mentioned in thrice that you still give the right on the same individual. Just in an event that the verdict does not go in the party's favor, what does that mean now for who is going to stand on the PF party come 2026?
I'll reiterate what I said. We will not allow Hakainde to select his competitors. We will not allow Hakainde to choose a candidate for us. We have chosen a candidate. And that candidate shall only be stopped by the Zambian people. And that candidate is Edgar Chagwalungu. That's all. Irrespective of what anyone says, our candidate is Edgar Chagwalungu. Yes, sir.
Justin Lubinda again. So I'll take you back to something you said that the former Republican president was calm in his campaign. But we know that another political party there, other political parties are campaigning. That's inclusive of the PND. And many are anticipating the current president to be calm as well. Can you assure the Zambians that if the current president is in Colombo and the former Republican president in Colombo, they will not experience any form of violence whatsoever? Because this tends to be the case. Some of these by-elections are marred with political party violence.
The violence that we have in Zambia today is violence that is occasioned on the Zambian people by Graffio Musamba. So please, when you have the opportunity, go and ask Musamba to assure us that there will not be police brutality in Kawambwa, that they will not go and clothe up people, cadres in police uniform to wreak havoc in Kawambwa. We saw that happening here at the Cathedral of the Child Jesus. Who are harassing people at the cathedral? Police. It has never been PF, it's police. It is the duty of Musamba to provide security. And this is what beats our minds. Your chief security guard, you employ him at your house, chief security guard, he tells you, don't leave your house because you're going to be attacked. What are you employed for? You are employed to provide security for me to enjoy my liberties. Now you tell me, don't even move, but I'm your chief security. I would fire such a security guard. Musamba is the one who should make sure that now that Edgar Lungu is in Kawambwa, he is provided security. All the people in Kawambwa must be provided security from hooligans. And it's the responsibility of Musamba on behalf of Hakainde. He swore by the Constitution to maintain peace and order. It's his duty. When you have the opportunity, please ask Hakainde, can he assure us that when he goes there, he's not going to cause confusion? Edgar Lungu has been there now more than 5 days. You haven't heard of any violence whatsoever.
Just big crowds.
Huh? He's just attracting crowds and crowds. Not a single stone has been held at anybody. Because he is operating from a space of peace, a space of love. You know, for some people, Justin, just their appearance causes confusion. Some people are just born confusionists. Just the moment they appear here, you will see people start to shiver. And others, the moment they appear, they fill the room with joy. Now there is joy there. Let's see if there will still be joy when the other one goes.
You are right, John. I'm sure we're done with questions. Unless there's still more. You are satisfied, eh? Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
As you part, I want to assure you that tomorrow, after the outcome, I'll have a meeting again with you. So I'm dating you tomorrow. We'll tell you where. We don't want to tell you now. Otherwise, Musamba will clothe up cadres in police uniform. We will let you know, but we'll have a date with you. Thank you very much, members of the press, and God bless you.